Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
It's the Your Hair Podcast, episode 356, guys. We're back, and we brought a special guest out today to just bring to your attention, man. This human being here exists. He is real. He has a lot to say. He's got a lot going on in his life, and we want to get to know him more along with you. Darian Hale is on the podcast today. Darian, thank you so much for jumping in.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm Darian. I'm a student for East Carolina University. I'm from North Carolina. I'm from Eastern North Carolina primarily. Study journalism, and I do a lot of writing on the side. You can see a lot of my writing on Instagram, or you can look out for it because I'm writing a book, and it will be due or done at least by spring. So I have a book out in 2026. It's the book's title is To Not Believe While Blood Kept Pouring. So yeah, check that out. And I love to do fun things. I every now and then you might see me create content on my Instagram or things like that. And I love interesting conversations, which is why I'm here, of course.
Cool.
Sick, dude.
I want to ask you a question out the gate. Why? What brings you to create things?
Oh.
Okay, that's a good one. Well, my main motivation is just like, I have this kind of thing in me where I have this vibrant light where I have to talk a lot. I have something to say. I have something to make. And if I don't do it, I'll lose my mind, which is the short part. But the biggest part is that I just kind of like feel like you ever wake up in the morning and there's this itch in the back of your neck and you just got to do something. For me, that's like creating art or writing a poem or, like speaking to someone or having an interaction. Today, I had about 3 interactions with strangers I didn't know. I had an interaction with a man named Henry, who was from Nigeria and was Igbo. I had an interaction with John, who was from Boston at a Barnes & Noble in Greenville, North Carolina. I had another interaction with one of my friends, but the other stranger interaction I had was this woman named Maria, and she's a janitorial staff in the building right there. And I don't know, it's just kind of this weird thing where if I do not express myself, I feel like I'm trapped almost. And at the same time, I used to, but this is a good motivator for me mainly. It's mainly because what gets me to create the most things or to do the most stuff is simply the fact that someone in my lineage or my family never had that opportunity or felt too trapped to do it. So I think that's the big reason. I also am just like autistic as shit. So I have Asperger's syndrome. So I just have to do it. Yeah. Shout out Asperger's syndrome or autism, whatever you want to call it. I have it. So I've always been kind of like that. Even when I was a kid, the teacher was like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "I'm making pants out of paper." And I would staple the paper and I made pants out of paper. And the kids were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I took the paper, the paper, I took it and I stapled it. And then I stapled it to the point where it turned into pants.
Damn, I kind of like the idea.
I don't know.
Paper suit.
Paper suit, dude.
Yeah, it was like a paper.
That's gonna be your college project.
You're a 32.
That'll be your thesis, dude.
Yeah, man. Dang.
But dude, that's so interesting because like that thing you just said is like you always want to just put something out there and just like that's in you. You got an itch. Like I feel like I'm the opposite of that. So I love seeing like the other side of it. And just because like this is the first time I'm meeting you and talking to you. But Dave always shoots me like every other week or something. It's like, "Yo, Darian, we're gonna get him on. We have to get," and it's been we've gone on a trek to get you on here.
Yeah.
But I'm just excited, dude, because it seems like that. Like, I feel like we were talking about this when we first started this podcast, right? About trusting that instinct.
Yeah.
That I feel like everyone has that innate thing to want to connect with someone else, put it out there. And we would always say, it's like, especially for me, I was like, I just have that instinct and I'm about to, like, I'm questioning if I should do it or not.
Yeah.
And I just don't. Because I'm like, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. So what is like, do you have fear in those moments when you like want to interact with someone? Like, I don't know if that's a weird question.
Let me try to shape it.
Yeah. Let me go ahead.
Off it. Do you feel like, let's say you see a beautiful person and you're like, wow, I really want to approach them. From that point, is there ever a part of you that goes, shit, it could go wrong this way, and this way. So I'm going to sit this one out and just kind of let it play out? Or do you generally like lean on the side of trusting your instincts and just acting on it and there's no fear? Like, how would you respond to something like that generally?
So it's a double-edged sword. So if it's like, it goes either way, of course. I get nervous. Everybody does. But I think my biggest thing is I simply just say, I'm on a floating rock and I'm going to die one day. And I do it. I know it's simple, but like the thing I started to realize, I'm like, okay, so if I do this, will opportunity come out of it? Maybe. So I think that the biggest thing is like, I see a person and I think they're interesting and I want to talk to them. My biggest segue is, how do you get someone to talk to them? You talk about something that you relate to them, like they're wearing like brown khakis. You go, man, I love those brown khakis. But you say it in a charismatic way to the point where the person goes, oh man, thank you for liking my brown khakis. Like, oh, yeah. Anyway, so who are you? Where are you from? What's your name? And I think it's just kind of for me, it's always been my older brother. He taught me how to do this better, because when I was younger, I was really shy and I was really afraid to talk to people. Mm. And he said, you have to do this. Like, I love to kick your ass into a cold pool. And I was like, all right, I guess I got to Spartan kick myself into this cold pool, which is talking to people. And it's so scary sometimes, I know, because I understand exactly how you feel. But the thing about me was, the thing that hit me was like, I would have these moments and I would just like before I would go to talk to someone that I wanted to talk to, or an opportunity to reach out, and I close my eyes, and I think of all the stuff that has happened in my life, all the things that I decided not to do, and then I did it. And I think that helps a lot, is when you you look back in that moment, you want to close your eyes in that 1 second, and say and remember the shit that you missed out on, that you didn't take advantage of. And then boom, someone will hit me at least, and it will be like, what are we doing? Why are we thinking like this? Why don't we just go do it? Go do it. It's this, I know there's this actor, he said, it's all action. It's all momentary, fast action that has led to greatness or has led to falling. But I have a quote that I get from a BMX person from Greenville, North Carolina. He's very popular. He's like the Tony Hawk of BMX, and his name was Dave Mira. Oh, yeah. And he has this quote, and every time you go to the BMX park, you'll see it. And he says, I would die to feel what it feels like to fly, even if I risk the fall. Mm-hmm. And so I've always tried to remember that. And I would die just to feel what it feels like to fly. I'd rather fly than never get to do that at all. I'd rather know that I'll fall, but at least I'm in that air for a second. I'm in that air, and being in that air feels amazing. And in my life, I've tried to do that a lot more. Like, for example, I've tried to speak to people I didn't think I'd get the chance to speak to, or I try to pitch an idea to someone who maybe doesn't really care, but it's the trying aspect. In my life, I had friends, and maybe you did in school, who were like, it's not that I'm not smart, I just don't apply myself. And I was always like, why? I was like, I apply myself, and I don't know what will happen, but I'm going to keep trying. And like I said, it's those moments where you close your eyes, you remember all the shit you missed out on. And then I guess it's just kind of this, like when that happens, you might get what I get, which is a spark of adrenaline, which is like, we got to do this. Mm-hmm. You remember your friends or your family who have passed away. For me, example, like I have family members that passed away and they never even got to go to another country, another city, another town, never got to meet the people I got to meet. And I thought to myself, maybe I'll talk to the stranger in honor of them. Maybe I'll go do this thing in honor of them. So like almost as if the pieces of them are getting left on you, and you're being able to embrace them, and you're being able to have this thousands of energies of people who never got to do the things you do, whether it be your ancestors, your grandma, your uncle, whatever, who passed away. You can take and harness all that energy, and you can put it into your mortal soul, which will allow you to go and do things more. That's what I found out. Because I used to get really depressed when I think about the people I lost. And then I thought to myself, I was like, so if I want to heal from whatever I got going on, I was like, okay, let's face this. Let's face all this pain, and let's confront it and use it and harness it. I know it sounds crazy, almost like I'm talking like I'm an airbender or whatever, but it's really just healing trauma and using the trauma that you went through to be able to do the things you want to do. It's kind of that simple. Yeah.
Wow, man. Wow, dude. Thank you for sharing that, bro. Yeah, it's like life will break you down, and we all have a different kind of plight that life brings us to, or battle, or some kind of just we get broken by it. You know, we have strong connections with people that pass, and that grief is real, and it creates a pit you can very easily fall into and stay into for the rest of your life. And what you're talking about, especially at such a young age, dude, seems like a very healthy way to kind of not roll with the punches, but take a situation that was bestowed upon you and a grief and accept it, acknowledge it, and then harness it and like kind of frame shift it into a place where you can continue to grow in your own life and to bring that along with you, all those people in that way. So that's really cool to hear. Especially for someone so young, dude. Like, you, how old are you, Darian, if you don't mind me asking? 23. Yeah. So, I mean, this is for me, one of the coolest things is like, me and Mikey we started this a long time ago. This is 6 years running, 7 years?
I was Darian's age.
You were Darian?
Pretty much.
Wow, you were Darian's
pretty
age.
much, yeah.
So, okay. So for me, this is like, and I don't want to speak for you, Mike, but I can tell you're feeling this moment right now too. This is kind of why we built this podcast, and the thing that you never really know is who's going to listen and who's going to tune in and what kind of effect or impact it could have. And I just kind of wanted to kick it off by speaking on that a little bit, because you're someone who we didn't know before we started this, and a really cool thing is. This podcast, before we had it, we wouldn't have known you. And now, like I guess my question is like from how you found us, I guess. And like, because you've expressed that to me, like personally, which I thought was like so awesome, man, to vulnerably express, any impact we've had at all. But I was just curious for you to like kind of fill Mike in on like, because he's here every day and like he builds the show and he sets these mics up, and like, we've given up on the chasing fame thing. That's no longer what we're about, but we still continue to bring these vulnerable conversations and open each other up for each other in the hopes that someone like yourself may feel less alone and come out of your corner and feel seen and heard and maybe get something from this. So I was just wondering, like, for you, man, what is the You Are Here podcast for you? Like, what brings you to us today, man?
That's a great question. And Mike, I want you to listen closely, because this is really important that you hear this. The fact that you guys have been so vulnerable with each other as two men has helped me mentally, especially when I was younger. When y'all first started the podcast, I remember when you first started the podcast, I saw you on a TikTok or an Instagram reel, one of the two, and I was going through some shit. Like I was going through some shit, and I was like losing myself completely. I was just tired. I was always angry. I was negative. I had these thoughts that were just always kind of rivetingly pouring me down. And I saw, I saw like stuff, and I saw, you and Dave talking, and I just thought to myself, I was like, man, these guys are really saying some shit that I need to listen to. And I kept listening back to it. I mean, there's a certain thing where you said, Dave, and you were talking to Mikey, and you said, I'm not going to give up. And I replayed that video probably like 15 fucking times in a month, just because I thought to myself, I was like, this shit gets me going. And it does. Every single time I play that video, it keeps me going. And Mike, your love for Dave, your love for the conversation, your love of attention and listening is like fucking everything, dude. You're a fucking great listener, but you're not just a great listener. You're a great empathetic human being. Like, you actually care, and you can feel it in the brevity of your voice, Mike. And I know you two are probably like, you might not know who watches it, but from an audience member, from someone who has listened to this podcast for as long as it's been around, it has helped me tremendously in my mature growth as a man and as a person. And it has fixed my mindset. I used to be so negative. I used to be so nihilistic. And then I listened to you guys talk about whether it be the most philosophical thing or whether it be like the most weirdest, goofy shit. It has helped my mind so repetitively, and it is something that, you know, when I first watched you guys, I was watching you guys with tears on my phone, with me going through situations that I just didn't deserve, and it's intense to say, but it really did bring some sort of brevity of my soul. You know, hearing vulnerability and hearing stories and hearing about people and what you two have been through together as individuals who are creating a podcast and just regular people. I don't know. I felt so much sincerity, and the fact that Mike, that you, I remember you talked about being a good friend, and you guys just have this like chemistry. It's like such brotherhood, of course. It's like this thing where you guys know each other. You know each other's faults. You know each other's fears, but you are so willing to share it and to help other young men like me out. I mean, it's helped me mentally 100%. And I honestly would say what I've gotten from it, if you wanted me to put it simple, it's closure, expressive vulnerability without fear. It's being able to express myself even more, being able to create the things I want and harness whatever thing I'm feeling and putting it on display. And that's what you guys have definitely done for me. So,
man, I gotta feel.
Sorry, that was intense.
Dude, no, dude, that is like, I can't really find words for it. That's like so. I don't know. I don't think I could find the word for it, man. I just want to say thank you, just in general, man. And man, it's wild that you said closure, dude, because I feel like I literally mentioned that last episode about the question you asked me, and that's a word I always think of that kind of thing, like how important that is, and the fact that you could find that through us bumbling about, I guess, but I'm not gonna say bumbling about. I feel like we bring something to the table, but like, man, it makes me super grateful, man, that we do this, you know, and just the fact that this is like my brother, you know what I mean, and you know, it's just part of life. And the fact that can be like just what we do for like what I do for a living, doesn't have to be like a job or anything. The fact that it brings something like that to the world, I'm just eternally grateful, and it makes me want to never stop doing it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, Darian, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Don't ever stop doing it.
Darian, thank you, man.
We won't.
Keep doing it.
We will.
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing it.
Not gonna give up.
And then one thing, me and Mikey kind of made a shift, dude. Some like inside baseball, but years ago we were like, you know, where are we headed, man? Like we, you know, originally you start something, you're like, this is gonna take over the world, and this is gonna be what we do for a living, and this is gonna be, the meaning never changed. I guess like what we wanted to bring out of each other never changed. It was always the intention to drop everything, and you are here. So tell us what's on your mind, and where are you today in this moment, you know? And I'm here to catch you, and Mikey was always here to catch me, and hold that space for me, where I think a lot of men, you know, it's hard. You're not taught that. It's not something that was instilled in me. Like, you know, my dad never said, hey, when your friends are talking, like, get really quiet and listen, you know? From experience, it was always like, let me just kind of steamroll and get what I want, or, you know, whatever. It's just, that's not what men do. We don't really talk about our feelings or where we're coming from. And we're only half listening because we care, but we can't show emotion. So I can't let your shit land on me. I can't let it be, you know, heard fully.
Yeah.
But I think that's what separates us, today. That's the potential you have as a young man, especially now, Darian, is like, and thank you for saying what you said about, you know, it puts so much fuel in the tank for me, and I feel Mike as well. And that's kind of another reason why I wanted you to hear from this awesome young man is, we made a shift saying like, and we keep telling each other, like, do it for the one, you know, if there's one person, one guy, one girl, whoever that listens to something we say or are talking about or sharing together, and one of us is listening and one of us is speaking, then the energy to do it, the breath it takes, the time away from family, it's worth it. And I stick by that. And you're literally that epitomized in a human being. So you mean a lot to us. If we've meant anything to you, like that means a lot to us. And it's cool to hear, bro.
Yeah,
I get chills.
I just like there's this level to what you guys do that you might not recognize. And whether it be the appreciation or gratitude for living in the moment and dealing with your shit and like taking it in, that's the thing that I've always was struggling with when I was younger. I would always be like, man, I can't deal with that right now. I got other things to do. But I remember there was an episode where you and him were sitting and you said, I just let the warm sun hit my face and I closed my eyes and I breathed it in and I breathed it in. And I realized that conjuring of days will come and go, but I'm still going to be here and I'm still going to push. I'm still going to be the invincible summer that Albert Camus talks about. And it just like, I was like, these are my guys. I was like these are my dudes. These are my dudes. Because you guys embody what Viktor Frankl embodied, what Albert Camus embodied, this unstoppable force, this invincible summer, this idea of taking in tragic optimism, which is the term that's just the philosophical and psychological term for what you guys do or believe in without knowing. It's this idea that life's going to be difficult, but I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to let the crucible of adversity crush me into 1,000 pieces. And if it does, I'm going to pick up those pieces and I'm going to make a brand new art form out of it. I'm going to take whatever I have and I'm going to dig out of the yard. I'm going to dig out of what I've been buried in. And I don't care if I have to dig with sticks or I have to dig with roots or I have to dig with pieces of rocks that are near me. It's literally just kind of like, for me, what you guys do and what you guys have always done, and not to glaze y'all up or something, but I just wanted to say, man, like, it's this idea of not stopping, this idea, this pummeling like that. It's like this weird thing that I've always had inside of my soul. You guys did so well at illustrating it and reminding me, because I've had moments where laziness put me down. Like it just made me feel like I can't do nothing. Why should I work out? But then there was this kind of thing in me that was like, you have so much to create. You have so much to do. And you guys have stowed that in my thought process through the things you say. And it has helped me in the mental process. So where I am now, like I'm doing stuff I didn't think I could do. I'm reaching out to people I didn't think I could reach out to. I'm being openly myself every single day. I'm creating more stuff. People are finding some love in my work. I'm getting some confirmation from other people. And it's all because I took time to heal from my trauma, but also I took time to listen to y'all. I really love this podcast. Like if I didn't like at least play that video, like I said, 15 times. And when I say 15 times, I mean 15. Like 15 times I watched that video of Dave going, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit. And I just kept having his head. Like I kept seeing that big old freaking beard that he had at the time with the gray hoodie. And I just kept listening to it. And it made me better, but it made me not just better. It made me want to be openly vulnerable. And I think like, Mikey, when you were talking about you're kind of afraid, dude, I think you're brave as shit, bro. You got a podcast that you willingly put out all the time. I don't know what you're talking about when you say you're afraid. Maybe I do, but thing is that at least you're brave enough to give someone bravery without even realizing it. And that's what you two do all the time.
Bro, I think like through this, I think this was a step for me to be like, I want to get out of that whatever it was.
Oh my God.
100%. Because I feel definitely way more calm and like willing to just throw myself, like you said, like to kick yourself in the cold pool. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like 100% now. But I think it definitely took like that step of being like, I hate everything I'm doing right now. Yeah. I don't know who I am. I need to do something, and like, just like the question of asking Dave, or even like our story of like me knowing you, that was also like when we met and I didn't like you because I'm stupid, because I just thought I assumed that you're just another dude that sucks basically. And that's who I was. Yeah. You know what I mean? But all those steps, like leading up to all, like this is probably the healthiest thing I've done in my life. Like consistently.
Same.
Just growing like emotionally, mentally, like all of that, friendship, I don't know, everything, like business stuff. You know what I mean? It's it's done so much for like every aspect of my life. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going, but yeah.
How brave you are.
I guess, yeah. But I want to say, like, I think, I want to say, I feel like what you're talking about too, and how like you watching us kind of like lit that fire maybe in you. I feel like every single person has, like, they are going through this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's the thing I see, like, I think about most whenever we sit down and do it. I'm like, if someone like that can, like, it can change that or inspire them to act like differently or try to just, I don't know, have like that, I don't know what you were saying. Like that was like so good. The tragic
optimism. Look.
The tragic optimism. Yeah. I was like, damn, that makes sense.
Tragic optimism.
Yeah. But like, I just think about every person has like that shit they're trying to get over or change in a way that to grow, just be better. You know what I mean? Like that's like, I think instinctually, like everyone's trying to do that.
Absolutely.
You know, and everyone's been dealt a set of cards that it's way harder for some people with their circumstances and all that shit. But like the thing you see in humans is like the worst circumstances people can rise up out of. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know. It makes me feel like since I'm like, look, at the end of the day, like I'm chilling, you know what I mean? Like I'm blessed with a beautiful family and like I'm living, I'm in America, like I got a house, like shelter, all this stuff. I'm good. I just want to like be able to help in some way like that, inspire in some way.
Yeah.
You know, because I want that feeling for, if I see someone like going, how many friends and stuff, you know, going through it, like if you can inspire that, you know what I mean? Or
for sure.
I don't know. There's so many people out, and a testament to the podcast and what it's able to do is reaching just people around the world, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, thank you for saying that. Yeah. Like, and you've definitely, this podcast has been that for you for sure, dude. Like you go back, watch the first episode and then just fast forward to this one. It's like, you've become who you wanted to become. Yeah. I think, you know, and you're in such an awesome position in life. Just not even material things. Just, I think your heart is good with who you are, and you're not afraid to be yourself.
That's the most important.
For me. Yeah. If everything went away, it's like you're good, and you know you're loved, and like you're comfortable with the uncertainty of life, and you're positive, you know. And but yeah, Darian, thank you for sharing that and taking that trip with us, because I think it's important for us to hear that sometimes, man, that this is helpful in some way. I really appreciate that.
Me too.
You sharing all that, bro. But yeah, back to you, man, Darian. Like I wanted to, now we can really get to know, you know, who you are and what has made you this creative person, man. And you know, you've gone through so much, and you were kind of expressing that and the depths of like the grieving process and trauma. And you also mentioned like Asperger's, and, you know, how do you find like, like how was it always something for you where you were like, man, I'm truly moved by the words of other people, therefore I want to share my words with other people and help them too? Like what made you want to become a writer or a poet or an artist in some kind of way? Like what was that spark like, if you could trace it?
It's a really good question. I started doing poetry a long time ago. I think I was in middle school. My father, he taught me, he said, you know, son, and this was in a letter that he sent to me a long time ago from a penitentiary. And I remember, and it said something about how men can use their anger for anything, but the best thing is ink. It's raw ink, is what he said. He said it's raw ink. It's raw things that have this poignant power to put it into something that seeps in and stays, and it will outlast any emotion, is what you write and what you create, because 1,000 years will pass, but this ink will still stay in that paper. So I decided, I was like, man, I am going to write. I'm going to do this. And I started doing it. And, you know, my life, things occurred. I had things happen to me I didn't want to happen to me. I grew up with 2 brothers. We all look differently, you know, and I grew up having this brevity and growing up in poverty in North Carolina in a trailer park with no heat. I grew up living in a a trailer with on a land that had potholes and stuff like that. I remember nights where we opened the oven to keep the house warm. And so I don't know, when I started writing, I just wanted to facilitate regular people's lives and what they feel and things like that. And at the same time, I wanted to expose a little bit of myself. And my father, he kind of was the big help with that. My father has always been that way. He's always been a person who has always made me become humble. At the same time, he's always told me, is like, what you express will outlive you. Last thing that you will leave behind will not be just your existence through you being here. It's the last human being who will mutter your name. Oh. So that's how I am too, because I have people that I have lost in my life, or ancestors, and I always tell myself they're not really dead if I'm muttering their name once more. They're still living in this existence, or at least this reality of time. They're still living, and I only hope that when I pass away, my great-great-grandchildren will go, well, this was great-great-grandpa Darian, and he did da-da-da-da-da. And I hope that someone who, I have moments where I'm walking around an antique shop and things fall down, and I'll look at it and their photos and their letters. I mean, one time I bought a book from a bookstore, and I opened the book, and this was a used bookstore, and there's a letter from a guy writing about this girl in 1971. And I was like, man, ain't that crazy? They didn't really, this moment is my little thing, but it existed at one point. And so I also write because I want to last. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just want to last. I don't want to be here just now. I want to be here 20 years from now. I want to be here 500 years from now when some kid is walking around and finds this old dirty book on a shelf and it falls and hits him on the face. And that's the main reason. And then that's one of the biggest reasons. And then the other reason is just dealing with grief. I had this moment in my life where I've lost my friend Albert. I've lost my brother. I've lost my uncle. I've lost so many people in my life. And I thought to myself, I was like, what ways can I honor them? What ways can I pivot myself to them and give them some of my sources? And there's times in my life where I thought to myself, I was like, how am I going to make sure that the roots of me are growing? But I felt so bad because I was leaving behind the people I love who I lost. And we get like that. You know what I mean? You ever have moments where you're driving and you're seeing something amazing? You're like, man, I wish my uncle could see this. Or man, I wish my best friend who passed away, I wish he could see this. And I got into that, and it hurts a lot, especially when it's your older brother who was the one who championed you on to go to college. It was the one who, stood up for you in any fight, or it was the one who saved you from any punch in the face, or it was this person who was kind of like your only protector, and now you had to be your own protector. And so it was like this weird thing where I was like, because I remember I'm the middle child. So before my youngest brother was born, I remember it just being me and him. And I remember life just being so difficult, but the closure that it came with him. And then, like my younger brother, we spent a lot of our time making sure that he was okay. And so I had a very protection nature because I was raised by my older brother first, and he was always protective over me. And so that torch came to me where it was like, you got to protect your younger brother. You got to make sure he's straight. You got to. And so I just like had this thought. And when I lost my older brother, I was not a freshman. I was a sophomore in college. It wasn't even that long ago. It's 2022. And I don't know. I fell apart completely. But I had this voice kind of talk to me one night, and it was, he was like, Dare Bear. That's what my family calls you. But I don't mind talking about it. But they were like, Dare Bear, dude, what are you doing? And I remember I heard it because I was like, trying to drink out any sorrow in my head. I was just pummeling down bottles. And I just was sitting there on my bed, and I was kind of sitting there like that. And I just hear, Darian, what are you doing? Darian, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I just keep hearing, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I was like, huh? And then I put a piece of ink on a piece of paper, and then it just kind of stopped. It's weird. It's just a lot of reasons why I do what I do, but those are some of them, especially because I know it's intense or maybe a little bit dark, but this is anything that I've ever created has came out of darkness. I like to say that I like to open the blinds and make you wake up when you are annoyed by light. Annoyed by my light, at least.
I think that's I mean, the fact that you're so vulnerably sharing, to me, it goes back to what you were saying earlier, bro. And I think it's so, you're exuding what you're speaking about, the choices you made to live the way you live today. And it's like he may be gone, but he's not. You know, the fact that you're putting words to who he was, and you're informing me and Mikey about who he was to you, and, you know, the nickname and what kind of brother he was to you, and what he protected you from or tried to, and the way you guys grew up, that keeps his name alive. And in this moment, he's here with us in that way, you know, and it's cool to hear you say that. I think the fact that you're willing to speak on him is, it takes a lot of guts, man, to express that. You know, I know when I'm hurt by something very severely, it's like the last thing I want to talk about. And I would like to bury my feelings really early on. That was kind of my survival instinct, and didn't know how to talk to friends about any of the shit that bothered me. You know, I'd just stuff it, and the emotion would come up, and I'd try to stuff that, or it would just explode, or I would go do something that's not healthy for myself. And, you know, like you said, like turn into a bottle. Like that's a way to cope for sure. And many a man has been lost to that bottle because of the same reasons, you know, similar ones. And, we all feel pain, and we're all, I don't know, man. I think we all try to handle it a certain way, by the best ways we know at hand at the time. But just to be an ear to how you're expressing, you know, what that loss was like to you, and what came out of it, and who you are today because of it. It gives me a lot of hope, man. Like, it gives me a lot of hope. You're a young dude. You have so much drive, you know, the fact expressing like, I just want to last. Like, that's very real, dude. And that's if that's your engine right now, it's great that you know that about yourself. It's a beautiful thing. Like, I didn't know who I was until like someone said, Jim Perrick said, get a journal. Like, you have to start journaling. That was some acting thing that's going to make me a better actor. So I was like, I'll do anything. Whatever's going to make me a better actor, I'll do that. You know, fuck how I feel. Like, if you're telling me I got to know how I feel about the world, I'll go figure it out. But because of that, it's like, I started to find out who I was, and my opinions on things, and who I really am, you know, and it led me to a point of becoming a healthier human being, trying to be a better person for others, realizing how important it is to be of service to others instead of just myself, but also to nourish myself too, so that I can be of service. And like, I'll share with you, bro, today, I'll share with you, Mikey, like my pops came into my job, and we've had ups and downs, bro. It's been ups and downs. And he's going through it right now, you know? And so I was able to be kind of an ear for him and a shoulder, and get him a cup of coffee. And, you know, he's sitting there, and I always felt so different sometimes from my father, like somehow deeply connected, but very different as like how I present myself to the world, who I am. But it's funny because he's sitting there, he's telling me about his things. And he said, you know, I went out, and this person told me, you know, Dave, you're the most beautiful person in this room right now. And he started crying. And I was like, like I felt that before. Like to feel special, and to be seen as something that's beautiful, and to have that expressed to you as a grown man.
Amen.
Dude. And to see him crying, like telling, not even trying to like show me what it meant. He just couldn't help it. It broke through. Like, it meant something to him because he feels not special. He feels like he is not worthy of being seen as special or unique or important, you know? And we're a lot less different and a lot more the same than I had realized, because that's the same thing I've struggled with to this day, bro. So again, the willingness to be vulnerable enough. Man. Yeah, thanks, man. The willingness to be vulnerable enough to express how you feel for real and what you're saying with like what fills your tank and what your brother is to you and how you carry your ancestors and what you do now is it just makes me a fan of yours, dude. Like to be that young and doing what you're doing, dude, I have no, you're like an alien to me. You know, when I meet young guys like you, I'm like, what the heck, bro? I cannot relate. I cannot relate. But it's just cool to get your viewpoints on things and your expression and your.
And when you talked about your father, that brought me to a topic that I'm sorry for interrupting.
No,
but I was thinking about a story I told you about my friend Michael. I think you remember this story, and man, it gets me every time about it. David knows the story. I'll tell you, Mikey. But this story is a very personal story to me because this was a person. I remember it was like 2023. It was February. It was cold. It was basically sleet rain was coming down in Greenville, North Carolina. And it was outside of a McDonald's. And I noticed this homeless man with he had a blanket on and it was covered wet. And he was sitting there shivering and trying to sleep under this tree. And so I ended up getting him some food, and we hung out in the car, and he told me about his father, and he told me about how his father had passed away, and that was everything he ever knew what love was. And it hit me deep because sometimes our father's love is the only thing we get. Sometimes it's something we never get, and he got his father's love, but on the part of that, he lost everything with his father's love that was given to him. And so we ended up talking some more, and I took him to a pantry, and we got some food, and I remember walking onto this campus with him in the parking deck and coming down to the pantry and getting some pretty ugly looks, but I just didn't really truly care because I never do. But time passed, and I didn't Michael for a while, and a lot of time had passed, a lot. And I was kind of curious. I was like, what happened to Michael? What happened to him? And it's weird because I find these people with the name Michael to always be in my life, whether it be my older brother's, his middle name was Michael. We called him Michael. And I kind of saw him through him as well. And this was another reason why I do what I do, is because one day I went into the Brown Shepherd Library, or the Shepherd Library, which is in Greenville, North Carolina. And I walked right in, and he was sitting there, and he was so happy to see me, and his head was shaved because I guess he cut all his hair off for the spring. And so he had a shaved head, and I remember him going, "Oh, Darian. And I remember him so happy to see me and exuberant, and he was just filled with joy. And he was like, I prayed about it. And I was like, prayed about what? And he's like, I prayed about that test you did. And I'm like, you remember the test? I don't even remember the test I did. And he's like, how'd you do? And I go, I did pretty good. And he goes, well, man, I prayed about it. I prayed about it that night. I thought about it. And he's telling me this. I'm like, how are you remembering something that was 4 months ago? I'm like, I don't even remember that. But he's telling me about this, and I'm observing him. I'm looking at him, and I noticed something on his arm, and it's a hospital bracelet, his name on it, and his last name on it. And I asked him, I said, what's this? And he was like, no, man, I just tried to do something dumb. It's hard. And I go, no, man, what is this? And he goes, and he looks at me, and he looks sincerely, and he says, if I died today, this would be it. And I go, what? And he said, this will be it. And he is about to cry, and he's looking at me, and he's like, all it will be Michael and my last name. And they will find this, and it will just be the tag, and then it will disintegrate, and I'll die. And I'm paraphrasing this, but this is exactly what he told me. And I remember just being so dropped to it. And I said, nah. And he's like, what? And I go, nah. He goes, what do you mean, nah? And I go, nah, you got me. But I said it so sincerely, but I said it in a loving way. And then I just saw him break down and cry. And he was just crying. He was like, thank you, Darian. Thank you. And I go, of course. I was like, of course, let's get Taco Bell. I was like, what are we doing here? I was like, we could have said all day and be sad about what happened, or you want to get Taco Bell with me and tell me about the rest of your day. And he did. And, David, he told me, he said, that's what it means to be your brother's keeper. You said that, of course. And I said, man, that's exactly what I want to be. I want to be my brother's keeper through my art. I want to be my brother's keeper through the things I create. I want to be my brother's keeper through the interactions I make with people, the things that last and outlast me, whatever I create in this reality, in this temporary world. That was deep.
That's awesome, bro. That's fucking awesome, man. You're like you're getting me wanting to just make things. You know what I mean,
dude? No, how great is that though?
Yeah, dude. It's bro. You don't see it a lot, man. Like for real, you really don't.
You don't. But the importance of taking time to give to Michael, and to express honestly and lovingly to him, like, man, at the end of the day, bro. Like, why are we all here? You know, like, it's a big question, right? Everyone asks, like, we always fall into it. I know I'll speak for myself, fall into a week of, or a day of, or a stretch of days of, like, damn, I just feel like my purpose is non-existent. What is the point? And I'll pray on it. God, show me something, you know, like, point me in the direction of what you want me to be doing. And you know, it's not always pretty. Like the response it could be silence. It could be, you're supposed to sit in a deep silence. I want you to walk through this wilderness with me for a second and remember that I'm here and call to me again. Like, or I'm going to introduce you to somebody that you didn't know. And I just want you to respond to them and be honest and open with them. And it's just, if the point is like for our own personal gain, you know, like that's a pretty vapid way to live. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like I'll feel good. I'll win a trophy. I'll feel good. Like that'll feel good for 24 hours or 12 hours or whatever. Like, oh yeah, I told you guys I was special. Now you see it. Or, oh yeah, I told you I'd be a bestseller. Now I am, right? Aren't I special? And it's like, for me, the feeling of like, the feeling of seeing a friend grow and knowing that he feels understood and accepted by me for who he is, that outlasts any good feeling I've had of something I've done that's been received by the world.
Amen.
What you did for Michael, to him, I know, because you just were moved by telling the story again. That impact you've had is worth more than any dollar amount or any analytical nonsense or whatever. That you can keep with you. That shows you who you are, Darian, as a human being. That goes farther than what you could tell us, you know? And it's just inspiring, man, to see that in you. It's very inspiring to me. Because age doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, it's just a number. I've met very foolish people that are much older than me and very much wiser people that are much younger than me. And I'm not afraid to be inspired by someone younger than me because I can learn from you, you know, and I am, like, in the moment. I think that what you're talking about in this experience with Michael says so much about who you are right now in your life, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to be catching you in this chapter of your life. And I feel very grateful and thankful to God that we've made, and corny as it sounds, but I really am. Like, I'm expressing gratitude because it's a reminder for me. Like, that is, I'm dipping my toes back into auditioning again and putting myself out there for work again and doing it for a reason that's not for myself. You know, Make sure Mikey is kicking you in that cold water, man. Oh, he's kicking me, bro. He always is, dude. He's always like, go out and do it. Why aren't you doing it? You know what the fuck? He's always saying that
Spartan kick.
Right in the chest, bro. Bang. Yep. Nah, bro. But again, all to say, dude, I'm grateful that you're giving us the chance to get to know you and get closer to you, and you're sharing your life with us. And I appreciate it, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. And like it's others that keeps everything going. It's others that keep the world gravitating and creating. And the humanities of art is not just, hey, I wrote this poem, or hey, I made this video. It's, hey, I'm expressing myself with someone else and they're seeing it and you'll see it, and then we'll end up being a little bit better at each day. And it makes me think of nature. I love nature, so I'm always giving analogies to nature. But like when a fall falls in a forest, it's not truly dead. Via mycelium, it will come back to life. And Neil deGrasse Tyson has taught me that. And I know that's like a corny thing to say, but it's true. When a tree dies in the forest, it's not truly dead. Via mycelium, other plants can grow around it and bring it back to life. And that's why we need others so deeply. Right. And we need others so we can make sure that our ecosystem is alive. Our friends are alive. Brothers are alive. Even if they seem like they're doing okay. Even if it seems like they're touching the tops of the tree and they're grabbing the branches and their vines are going like that, there could still be something, a parasite in there taking them down day by day. And all we have to do is via mycelium reach out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I feel like I just did like fucking, I don't know what that was. You did it. Sorry.
Whatever that was.
Grabbing that mycelium.
You grab that mycelium. You via mycelium dust, dude. Yeah. That's well said, dude. Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's a wild cat, but he talked about it in a video. Someone was asking him questions about, don't you feel small? Like this gigantic universe, and you keep talking about how ever expansive it is and how small we are. Don't you? What is that? What's the point then, man? It's so insignificant, all this shit that you're doing. It doesn't matter. Right? We're too tiny. Like, what's it going to matter? And he goes, no, I actually feel big. Like that all this is going on and that we play a part in the entirety of all this going on. And we were all before this thing exploded into a million, miles and miles and miles apart of distance and different materials. Like we were all made of the same thing, intimately connected, and then burst across a universe. Like he's like, it makes me feel huge, actually, that all this is going on. And that I play a part in it. We all play a part in it. And I remember going, wow, watching that video like 15 times. That was my 15-time video. Yeah, dude.
15 times.
15. And I mean 15. Yeah, dude. Darian.
15.
Darian, we got the poetry book coming out. So I'm just going to ask you some more questions. First of all, very excited about it. Would love to have a copy right here on the shelf if we could get one.
I want to buy one too.
Yeah, we will. We'll buy our copy. Signed, of course. I want it signed.
Yeah. You ain't gotta buy them. You ain't gotta buy them.
No, we'll buy them. We're buying them. We're buying them. We're going online.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, we are. We got to support. And we'll be pushing it for you. But dude, man, honest question. Like, and I'm just gonna shoot from the hip because that's how I like to do it. Do you in this moment, man, do you feel special? Do you feel loved? Do you feel that walking around today?
Yes. And it took me a long time to be able to say that and to mean it. Today, I actually do feel loved. I feel loved that I get the chance to do the things that I know that I am internally grateful for. I'm internally grateful to have a car. I'm internally grateful to have vision, to have feet, teeth, and ears, and have a lung that makes sounds that people like you guys. It's crazy that a certain voice and a certain volitude of what we say will transfer into emotions that can do things that will change the world. But I feel loved, especially through the people that I meet, people I interact with. And I had this moment today, actually, not too long ago, about 3 hours ago. I was sitting with a friend, and I got done talking with this person. And I remember this guy was smiling, and he was looking at his outfit, and he goes like this. And he goes down the stairs, and I look at my friend, and I go, "You see what I just did there?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Didn't cost me a thing. I just gave that guy self-confidence for free." And I was like, that's what makes me feel loved, man. Just that random, that power you have.
Yeah, dude.
That power. So I feel love through that. I feel love through people who love the power by which I can display to them. And I feel like, all three of us, we have this energy bouncing, boom, 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 boom. And that makes me feel loved, man. It took me a long time to realize and harness it, but yeah.
You want to know one? I don't know why I thought of this. It's something that happened recently, and it's one of those moments where I was like, man, I should have been open to the conversation. I was in a parking lot.
I love when you do this.
I was in a parking lot.
Parking lot, baby.
I was getting Jersey Mike's. I was in my
Jersey
car.
Mike, straight from
Dude, I was getting Jersey Mike. I'm Jersey Mike. I was getting Jersey Mike. Dude, I get out the car. Immediately I was in the car for like 10 minutes. I had some phone calls. And then I get out and a guy gets out of his other car and he starts walking towards me. And I'm like, uh-oh. Homie pulls up. He's got CDs. He's slinging CDs.
No way.
Rap album. And I was like,
Rap album.
and I'm like, he's like, oh, you want to buy a CD, man? You want to support? I'm like, I ain't in New York right now. Like, I'm like, I felt like I got thrown back to like 2002. Yeah, I was like, dude, I don't have like a CD player.
2002.
You know, like, and he's like, and I said, I'm sorry, man. Like I'm gonna pass. And he's like, dude, I'm sorry too. And he walked away, and I'm like, what was that, dude?
I'm sorry too.
Yeah. So I was like, man, I kind of like 10 minutes later, I was like, I wish I kind of like engaged a little more on that. But it just threw me for a loop, man.
Yeah, dude.
You know, like what if that dude is going through some shit?
He's just trying to sell the CD,
right,
man.
But I was like, man, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know why I thought of that, but you made me think of that.
But it's a random interaction.
Yeah. Why. It's one of those moments where I was like, man, like that's like one of those moments we're kind of talking about. Like, if I'm gonna be who I am, like, why wasn't I me in that moment?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I had a safety.
I'm getting Jersey Mike's. Like, I don't know. That was stop. I'm like, man, I gotta go get some food. And like, screw this guy. You know?
Oh my gosh, dude.
But I don't know. I don't know why I brought that up.
I gotta.
That's a good.
Go ahead.
That's a good. That's a good. It's good that you're telling me this. I had something similar happen to me. I was in Washington, North Carolina. I'm giving settings because it's important. No, I was in Washington, North Carolina, and I was going to go get some food. And this guy was like, hey, you got $1? And I was like, well, let me see what I got after I get done with getting this food. He goes, hey, man, if you ain't got none, that's fine. I'm just bored, and I need something to eat. And I come back out, and I'm like, I didn't have much, but here you go. And he goes, thank you. And then he goes, what you think about this? And it was an entire drawing of Vegeta and Goku and all that. Hell yeah. And I go, holy shit. And he goes, you like that? And I go, yeah. He was like, thanks. And he goes, thank you for the $1 too.
That's awesome.
Thank you for looking at this. And I go, well, thank you for showing me. And he goes, yeah. And I go, all right, take it easy, man. that was a random interaction where I guess it was because I decided to I was like, all right, I'll play in with you, man. Bro, and he was like, well, I guess this guy I was being nice enough. I'll show him my drawing. I don't know,
dude, that's random. So like
it was kind of strange, but
dude,
so interesting.
Darian, you're a great storyteller, dude. I feel like you got great storytelling ability. So I just want to share that with you. Yeah. I got 2 quick stories.
Okay, cool.
And they show you, and there's a reason for this, Darian. They show you the duality of man right here. Okay, because I ain't perfect, bro. I don't claim to be. I don't claim to be perfect, man. But I'll give you the first one. Was this? I was driving with my niece and my wife in the car. We're driving to my in-laws' house, and the tire on her car, of course, is flat.
Yeah.
Right? Or like it's the low.
And Dave doesn't know how to change tire.
No. It's not changing the tire. I got to fill the tire. Right? It's low because you didn't change it because it's been how many months of cold weather? Got to fill the tire.
Okay.
So I pull in a gas station. $1.50 it says on this thing. So I get 6 quarters. Right?
Yeah.
That's $1.50. Right? We both agree. We all agree.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I put the 6 in the little coin slot. No air comes out. No air starts. That's the last of our quarters. We don't have no more quarters. Don't have a bill on me. Right? Just credit card. So I go to the gas station attendant. I say, hey, I knock on his window. He's on his phone. He's in that little cubicle thing. Over here, we have gas station attendants. They fill the tank.
Yeah.
So I knock on the thing. He slides it up. He's like, yeah, what's going on? I go, I paid the thing. There's no air. He walks over, sees that there's no air coming out of it. So I'm there with him. We're staring at this thing. There's no air coming out of it. He goes, $1.50. I go, I just put it in there. He goes, manager inside. And then he leaves. Right? So, he goes, manager inside. He leaves. So now my blood's starting to boil a little bit. Right? Because I feel like I'm being dismissed. Yeah. And not my issue's not being taken serious. Uh-huh. My wife's in the car. And my niece in the car. We got somewhere to go. So now I walk in with purpose into this gas station. I say, I'm looking for the manager. There's no one in there. It's a whole store. There's not a soul in there. I'm like, who's running it? There's no one at the register. There's no one anywhere. There's no one behind the desk. Nothing. So I circle the place 3 times. Finally, someone comes out. He goes, hey, how's it going? I go, great. My air isn't pumping. So I need some help. He walks out with me. He looks at the thing and he goes, $1.50. And I go, already put it in, sir. Just told your friend. Already put in $1.50. That already happened. You know? And there's no air. So he goes, oh. Takes a quarter, puts it in, takes another quarter, puts it in. So that's $2 now. And it starts. Right?
Yeah.
And I say, thank you. Fill up the tire. I get in the car, and my wife turns and says to me, you had time today, didn't you? You had time today. And I was like, oh, shit, I guess I was like a little aggressive. I wasn't so sweet. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn. You know, wasn't the nicest guy because I was like, tire needs to be filled, and we got to get somewhere. I paid the thing. You're a little dismissive gas station attendant. And then the manager hooked it up. But just to show you, not a perfect man. And I was a little short, and my wife caught that, and of course, reflected it back to me that I was a little bit of a jerk. Anyway,
it's okay.
That's one side. The other side, I've had this like crazy connection, that's been building over the weeks with the most random dude ever, and it's the dude. He's one of the delivery people that comes in with like he's like a vendor. He's like one of the people that delivers one of our like things to work every week in like box form. Shows up. First, we started talking about he's just an average guy. And then we started bonding over like coffee. And then another week he's like, oh, I have a daughter. And I'm like, oh, he's probably like 41, like but takes care of himself, you know. He's kind of voicing about his daughter, and he's like, oh yeah, she loves doing this thing. Like she's about to go to college, and she kind of wants to get away. And I was talking about his daughter. But over the weeks, it's been like we've been having some crazy deep conversations where I'm like, whoa, I didn't even know his name. But I'm like, wow, we are like he's really listening to me, and I'm willing to share with him now, and he's sharing back, and he's like, bro, I learned this from my mother. He's like, the world is gonna hurt you, dude. The world is gonna hurt you, but it is how you see things. It's not what the world does to you. It's how you perceive it. And he went into like explanations about like his separation and him raising his daughter on his own, and now she's living with the mother. And I'm like, it's so cool that like you could just meet a random person in some weird way, and like a bond could start forming where you're like, I respect that guy. Like I have real respect for this dude. He's talking about working hard at this job he hated, but he did it to make sure his daughter got through school for 20 years. He did this awful job. And then today he puts himself in a position where he's like freed up because to him, time is the most important thing now. It's no longer about how much money I can make within this hour. To him, he's flipped it. And he's like, this hour is worth what? You know? And I was like, damn, I'm having this fucking, like, you're expanding my mind so much, dude. And I agree. Yeah, I agree. And we're in different situations a bit, but fuck, like, I don't know. It takes a little bit of willingness and vulnerability to share with your fellow man where you're at and what you've been through. And like, you can learn something from each other, man. You could definitely learn something from each other.
Every day too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. But yeah, you know.
I think it's just that like it just like wraps up, and I think what we come here to talk, right? And like we come here to talk about this so that we can just implement it in life. You know what I mean? Yeah. In a way. And like when we're not feeling it, we're like, fuck, like I know it's out there and we're trying to find it. And I feel like that's just something that forever is just has to be like, it's like a human thing that has to be like put into, you know, like has to be satisfied, or we always want to keep doing that because that builds like community, character, everything, you know? Yep. If you stop, like, you become secluded, you become isolated, you know, and you're not probably going to be in a good place, you know? Yeah. We're not built for that. I don't think that isolation. Yeah, dude. Well said. Darian, what is a piece of like information or someone told you something in life where you're like, you've taken it and you've adopted it into your like life and way of thinking. It rang true to you. A piece of writing, a word from a family member or a friend or a teacher or something that's like you've adopted, like you see it as true.
It's a good question. Good question, man. Damn, that's a really good question. I have a couple of them. I want to make sure that I like I say it truthfully and honestly. It has been. I grew up with a lot of people who were fishermen and a lot of people who did commercial fishing and did things like that. I know some of y'all might have. I don't know if you have family members who grew up on, were part of the fishing trade. But my favorite thing was my mother was telling me about a family member of mine, and she said, "You know what fishermen do, right?" And I go, "What do they do, Mom?" And she goes, "Despite the storm, they go out and they fish." And she's telling me, she's like, they say, leave whatever out there is out there. I'm going to go get the catch. And she said, that's what we do. That's what we've always done. We've let the idea that we might not be able to storm the storm leave. We've just went into the storm. We went into the storm knowing that we might get drafted over, knowing that we might lose our net, knowing that we might not catch anything and come back empty-handed and with a boat that's completely flooded. We've learned that. And so that's one of the things that my mother has said to me and illustrated that.
That sounds like tragic optimism.
Whatever they had, they said, tragic optimism. Exactly what it is. It's tragic optimism. It all leads back to tragic optimism because that's the thing that I believe will bring hope. It will bring some sort of clarity, They say pessimism with spirit, optimism with the will. Pessimism with the spirit says, maybe this might not work out. And we got to have the reality of understanding the situation. We have to have the fucking willpower that we will make it work out, that we will push through and we will shatter the gate and we will run through the armory, even if bayonets sever our swords and pierce our skin.
Let's go, man.
Yeah, that's what I would say that that's what I would say that my family members have said to me that really stuck with me.
Yeah, man. Do you have like a favorite poem you've made?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I do. I have a couple. That's a good question because I have a couple. Some of them are on my Instagram. I have it labeled Insta poems. But I have like honestly, man, I make at least 10 a day. So sometimes I don't even remember some of the ones I make. I have like I'm not even joking with you. Like I have like them all right here.
Oh wow.
And like I don't remember making like half of these. Like I really.
Oh man.
Yeah, but I don't remember making most of these. Like I just did it. Like so I make 10 a day and I usually make them really early in the morning. Like I'm usually sitting there and I'm like, the two things I use to make poems, pure just raw and like me thinking and Webster Dictionary because I love to play with words. So today I wrote a poem and like the word mycelium. I love to play with that word. It's a fun word. It's a big word. You can use it a lot. It means growth. I play with words like, illuminating. That's a fun word to play with. Caressing, yeah, I can't talk, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Things like that's how I make a poem. But in terms of my favorite poem, oh man, that's hard because I have so many that I've written, and there's just so many that I don't remember and I do remember. But I will say, it's a good question. There's a lot where it's like me pushing through, and I write about that a lot, but I don't I write about it, but it's not repetitive. I'm not saying the same thing in every poem. It's said in a different way and said through different imagery. The poem that I wrote not too long ago, and it's a new one, and it's called Shattering the Gate. And that's one that I really like. I like right now. That's a poem that I made literally 3 days ago, and it's called Shattering the Gate. And I give imagery to as if I'm like, basically like, you ever play For Honor?
No,
I think I heard of that.
And you're basically like, yeah, it's like a video game, and you're basically like overtaking a castle or something. I don't know if you've ever played like, I don't know, like Assassin's Creed or Shadow of Mordor or whatever. When you run through an armory and you're going through it.
It's like full like battlefield, like armies, right? And you're going through just like breaking the castle walls.
Yeah.
Just like that kind of simulation.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I kind of like describe dealing with pain and things like that, like the Gauls, going into Rome, which is just ironic because he's Italian, but
true. Very true.
That's in the poems. I talk about that because there was a historical moment where the Gauls got on top of the castle and they were like, "Oh my God!" They didn't know what to do because they didn't think they'd make it that far. But it's like similarly that, and I that's one of my favorites. Shattering the Gate. Yeah.
Word up,
cool, dude.
We gotta look that one up, man.
Can we talk a little bit about the book? Like, can we give any like inklings of like, is there like a theme or is it just a collection? What we got?
It's a collection of poems with a mixture of memoir writings and a mixture of the kind of like me talking about advice, if I could give any. At such a young age, people kind of laugh at that. They're like, "What advice could you give me?" But it's a mixture of that. But for the most part, it's poetry. I might include a few images in there. I have done some photography, so I'll probably include those in there too. So it's kind of a mixture. David has seen the outline of it. It's poems, memoir, and lessons from Darian, and the title. Yeah,
man.
Cool, dude.
Well, I want to talk real quick, a couple things, but one of them is the cool thing you're doing right now on Instagram that I think people should tune into and go follow Darian on Instagram. It's Sup Darian, right?
Yep, Sup Darian.
Sup Darian.
Yep.
Yeah, SUP. Yeah, dude. So the cool thing you're doing on Instagram right now is you're doing like daily kind of reflections, and you're having these real like almost like I'm seeing them as like journal entries, but you're just sharing honestly about like a tip you have of how you see things and what someone may glean like some advice from you day to day. I think you're on like day 35, 36 or something like that. But just cool 34. To see you. 34. Okay. So we're 35 tomorrow. But how's that been for you? You know, where'd it come from and how's it been?
Well, I was in my room one day and this is funny, but I just sat there and I was like, what if I told people the advice that I tell strangers all the time? What if I just did that and didn't think about what people thought? And I did it, and holy shit, people liked it. And I was like, wait a minute, people like this? And I was like, well, I guess. And then eventually it just became like brushing my teeth. I was like, well, I'm gonna do this video today. And the best thing about it is I've treated it, you know how Vines were only like that line. So I've treated it like I'm clicking this, and then when it's done, there's no going back. I have to send it. So that's how I treat it. I treat it like this thing where whether I like it or not, it's going out. Yeah. And so I have no like I can't change my mind on the situation. I'm like, okay, I posted the advice, done. I don't care how I look. Yeah. Or if it's like sideways like this, I'm like, well, whatever, it's going out. Yeah. And I've done that as, like I said, the same way of me like brushing my teeth. Like I'm going to do it, or putting on my shoes. I'm like, well, I'll just do this video. And at the same time, I always have random sporadic thoughts all the time. Like I'm always like, as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking about the Baconator. I don't know why. I don't know where this thought came from. And then now I'm thinking about goldfish. You see what I mean? So like anything that comes with like giving advice, I could do it because I am always in a random place in my mind. That's just the way my brain is. I can think of situations and things that happened, and they will be irrelevant to the conversation completely. I can sit here and talk to you about the history of sawmills in North Carolina, and you'd be like, what does this have to do with anything? And I'd be like, I don't know. But so like the advice stuff and the daily journal entries of or whatever, I call it the daily wisdom. It's just kind of like me. It's just kind of like me just being like, hey, here's what we could do better at. And I like to look at them because they help me. I mean, this morning, I would say that I kind of like slipped on the way that I should have interacted or acted in a certain situation. I got angry at a parking meter. And I was like, man, what do you mean I have to pay? I just got the ticket. I was like, it's not even been an hour. I was like, what are you talking about? I have to pay. And then I thought to myself, I stopped and I was like, man, this is not Darian. I'm 32. Day 32. This is not Darian. It's like, wait a minute. Day 32 Darian will be so disappointed. We talked about patience. We talked about things not getting.
Yeah.
So at the same time, I'm doing it for that too. Like, hey, dude, what about your other self that didn't like what you did that day? You need to be better. It does help. It's like a discipline thing too. Yeah, that's how I do it. That's why I do it.
Yeah, man. What advice would you have for me and Mikey, bro? If it was like words of wisdom today for Dave and Mike,
I like that a lot.
Words of wisdom, like randomly right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, like whatever you think. You look at us. What advice would you give? What wisdom?
Keep pushing content. And if you feel like that the content is not reaching people, let my vibrant existence be the example. Because I'm an example of your content doing something. And I'm an example of, Dave, you should keep doing acting. Mike, you should keep doing what you're doing with creating. You should keep doing something. I don't care how old both of you get through timeless age. Keep doing some sort of art form. And that's my advice is like I said earlier, I want something to last when I'm gone. And I can see both of you are creating things that are lasting far beyond you're gone. I mean, I'm watching videos of you that you posted 2 years ago. So my advice would be, like realize there's some sort of lasting impact in what you're doing and that it does matter and you are reaching somebody. Like, I mean, I have to tell you guys, like, you guys are amazing. Y'all's chemistry is amazing. The way you talk is amazing. And my advice would be simply keep doing you. Keep doing acting. Mike, keep creating stuff. Keep recording. Keep having fun. Keep loving the woman you have. And Mike, you keep loving your wife as well. And both of y'all just keep loving, keep creating, keep producing something out of nothing. That is the coolest. You guys have been doing that so much, and it's awesome. And I want you to keep harnessing your talents. I mean, I watched Wayward Ken, and I was like, holy shit, this is fucking amazing. like you guys, my advice would be just never to fall into pessimism, never to fall into decadency, and think to yourself that, oh, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe this is just kind of a big dream that I should give up on, or maybe I'm just going to be stuck in New Jersey or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, reach for the stars, dude. That's my advice. And, when life gets tough, it's okay to do this Southern saying that I love to say is, okay to let the ruffian drag.
Oh,
dude, I need that.
I need some of that, man. It's okay.
I like that.
Oh, bro. What? Thank you, Darian. Thank you for the words of wisdom, bro. Everyone go follow Darian. Yeah, this is so cool. This is a cool conversation.
Yeah.
Last thing I wanted to ask you, bro, because I know you have some native heritage that you speak on often, dude. And and what that means to you. What tribe are you from? Your family's ancestors, and like, what does that mean to you, bro? Where your people are and where they come from, and how it resonates with you today.
It means a lot to me, especially I come from a Potawatomi tribe of Oklahoma and Kansas, and it means a lot to me. I got to learn about my third great grandfather and the things he endured and how the United States government came in, and all these things that happened to me. And it's almost like talk about this a lot, especially on my account. And I see it with my little brother and my family members. And we always talk about, like, man, we're doing so much, but we have like energy with us. We have our ancestors with us. And that's a big thing with Native culture, is understanding your ancestors are with you. And so when it comes to me creating anything or doing anything, I have to think in that process that my ancestors are with me. My little brother, he keeps reminding me that a lot of times. He's like, they would have liked it if you did this. And I'm like, I'll do that. And so I do. And it means a lot to me also because I've read the things they went through. I read about boarding school. I read about being treated poorly and working on ranches where people didn't like you. And I read about, things that some of my family members had to go through and actions they had to take to be able to survive. And I think to myself, I'm like, man, they did all this for me. Like, they did all this shit for me. Like, they did all this shit so I could exist. And I got to invoke them. Whenever I do anything, I got to invoke their existence. Whether you have an Italian family member who came over here and, had some bullshit happen to them, invoke them with all art you create. And I do the same with my great-great-grandfather, and I do the same with my family members who survive either the trail of death or things like that. And it's this idea and this recognition of who you are and who you come from that matters so much. I don't care where you come from. You went through someone, or you had someone in your life who had blood on his hands, on his chest, pulled through the dirt and kept going and was like, I look at this, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something about this so that David can exist, so that Darian can exist, so that Mikey can exist. I'm going to do something about it. And I think it's that acknowledging of my heritage, and it's that acknowledging of the people I come from. And this is an acknowledging of my brother's words and my family members' words that keep me going and keep me proud of who I am and where I come from.
That's beautiful, man.
Hell yeah.
Well said, bro. Well said.
I want to learn more about that stuff.
Don't forget, the people that put you in the position you're in today, the family members that did all that they had to do to make sure you're in a position where you can be you.
It's interesting too, because up here in New Jersey too, there's a lot of like native tribe stuff and everything, and I always hear like the importance of like the ancestral spirit, carrying on to future generations, and how like, I don't know, it just feels way more important and way more pertinent in like, I don't know, just living as well. Like that energy like pushes the energies, the generations forward.
That's right.
And I feel like in normal society, like, I don't know, regular. Yeah. Go ahead.
They call it the seventh generation. They call it the thinking in of the seventh generation. An elder told me that. He said, you got to think about the seventh generation. And it's about, what is the seventh generation going to remember? What is the seventh generation going to do? Wow. And it's that thing of seventh generation's perspective. It's like, what I leave behind, is it going to touch my seventh great grandchild? Yeah. Is my language going to last? Is my spirit going to persevere? And this is a big thing that Lakota tribe talks about, and other tribal nations, but it's that generational perspective. And you'll find any tribe in North America or South America or even Canada, and they're talking about the exact same thing, because they understand that through time immemorial, pain has existed and it's going to exist. Tragedies exist, but it's important to sacrifice. It's important to sacrifice, and sacrifice, I think, is a big thing in Native culture, and it's a big thing in pretty much the world. I mean, people pray to a man who sacrificed himself. People love those who sacrificed, and I think that's the biggest thing to take away when it comes to what you've talked about, was the generation thing. The generation thing is so important because it's the sacrifice. It's like, what am I doing this for? I'm not doing this just for me. I'm doing it for the seventh generation and who will come after me. And I know some tribes out there, Lenape, Nanticoke, Lenape, I think, in New Jersey. But love that stuff, man. I love that way of thought. It's beautiful, and it can really change your way of thinking in terms of just you being you. It can harness you to understand other people, and community is such a big thing. It's all about community. It's all about being able to nurture yourself with the world and with what you surround yourself with. And it always hit me because I grew up, my little brother and my grandmother and some of my family members, they always told me, they said, you're not good when you alone. If you idle, the devil gonna come. That's what I heard. Is you can't be idle and you can't be alone. You gotta have me bothering you. And so whenever I think of something sad, I always know that in the background I'll hear, "Motherfucker, what you doing over there?" and I'll hear that, and it's my little brother. He's like, "What are you doing?" And it's this kind of importance of family, importance of generations that come before you, and you got to be that. Hey, motherfucker, what you doing? I know I curse, but I'm such a bad influence. I'm sorry, but that's the thing, It's that. Hey, what are you doing? Are you creating something that's gonna last? Are you creating that seventh generation perspective? Are you doing something like that in sacrifice of the things that came for you? So yeah, man, it's freaking beautiful, dude. It's freaking beautiful. And I know probably you or David feel that same pride when you're in, you're thinking about like your father's family who came over here and didn't have much and wanted to create something or wanted to, make something out of nothing through places they left and did. And they have a foundation. They have something that existed and permeated. And and that's you too. I mean, like, that is both of y'all's existence. That's the whether that be your father's children that he created and the lasting impact they're leaving on the world, or whether it be the children that you will create, you gave them a gift right there. And I like to say that the energy of the ones that you have in generational line and lineage through blood, they're always persuading you through bloodline, through the blood that you carry, because you're carrying the exact same blood. So, like, and my little brother, he's always like, "Why you gonna be a warrior? Why don't you be a warrior?" So that's what I get out.
I like that.
Why you gonna be a warrior? Yeah.
That's so good, man.
That's amazing,
dude. Darian, this is awesome, bro.
David, channel the Roman soldier in you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
channel
man.
The Roman soldier.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. No, he's in there. That soldier's in there for sure, bro. Yeah, dude. Darian, thank you, bro, for giving us your time today and being vulnerable enough with us to share who you are with us and with whoever decides to hit that little click and listen in as well. Any last things you want to say before we wrap this show today?
The only thing I want to say is, for the ones you have around you, and be exuberantly yourself with others, and never give up on the dream that you have that lives inside your heart. There's always a way to make that spark come back alive and engulf it in flames, burn with tenacity to keep others warm and yourself warm.
Right on, man.
Bang.
Dude.
Don't you quit.
Yes, sir.
Don't you quit.
No more.
You knock that door down. You keep, well, what does it say with the water, with the stone? You know how water cuts through stone? It's like just a little bit over time, just never stops. And it wears that stone down.
That's erosion.
That's erosion. You erode that dream.
Erosion.
You just erode it.
Erode, don't erase.
That's right. Go. Don't erase.
Don't be an eraser, be an eroder.
Be an eroder. Don't be a worrier, be a warrior, man. I love that. Shout out to little bro. And all our ancestors and the people that brought us to this point today.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully we leave something for our seventh generation, man. And hopefully this conversation, which I feel like it will make someone come out of their corner and feel less alone and more inspired and hopeful, and they'll find their spark and they'll express themselves and feel more connected to the goings on of this gigantic place. That's my prayer. Thank you guys for this conversation.
Amen.
Yeah, if you want to follow Darian, it's Sup Darian on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Look out for the book. It's coming, man. We're going to be having our copies. You should get yours. That's it, Mikey. What you got? Anything else?
I'm just very thankful. I'm inspired too. So thank you, Darian. Thanks for coming to talk. It was a pleasure. That's all I got, man. My name's Mike, and I'm signing out.
My name's Dave. I love y'all. Please be kind to yourself. Please be kind to one another.
Peace.
Peace.
There we go.
You are here.
You are here.